Oh goodness. Hi guys. Okay, sorry, I dropped something. I dropped my eraser. So this video, hopefully, will be something that I think is easy. My brain's a little bit kerfluffled right now because I'm trying to figure out how to make this as easy for you as possible. So I have two kind of important things that I'm going to go over in this video. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce you to something called the front yard. The front yard. That is the first thing that we're going to talk about. Every hour has a front yard, and I'm going to show you what that is. And then the second thing that we're going to do is after we learn kind of a little bit about the front yard, I'm going to teach you guys how to tell time to the half hour. So those are our two things we want to learn about today. We want to learn what the front yard is, and we want to learn how to tell time to the half hour. So before we get started on that, I wanted to remind you about our two hands. This shorthand here is called my hour hand, and my long hand is my minute hand. So part of the reason your long hand is your minute hand is because your minute hand has to reach exactly to each little minute tick on your clock. It has to show exactly which minute we are in. So if you can see kind of it tick 1 minute at a time as it goes around the clock, okay? My hour hand is not that long. It doesn't have to be that long. It just has to kind of reach enough that you can see which hour we're in. And this is where the front yard comes into play. So I'm going to get a yellow little marker for you, and I'm going to circle. Right now I can see that my hour hand is pointing to my 3. I'm going to circle my 3. Right now it's easy to see. I can see, okay, look at exactly this hour hand, he is pointed directly at my 3. There's no way I'm going to look at this hour hand and say, this is pointed to the 9, because my hour hand is not pointed to the 9. It's pointed to the 3. I can see it's pointed to the 3, but watch this. When your minute hand slowly creeps through your clock, as your minutes tick by one, notice how the hour hand is moving too. Now, it's not really obvious. It's not easy to see exactly where the hour hand is pointing. My hour hand is not pointing right at a number. Now it's kind of just pointing in this like middle space. Gulp. Does it belong to the 3? Does it belong to the 4? What in the world? So this is where front yard comes into play. I'm going to go all the way back here. When the hour starts here at 3 o'clock, it points right to the 3. And then what I need to remember and what I want you to know is that 3 has a front yard. It has a front yard. So this is 3's house here. And then all of this space here, right up till you get to 4, is 3 o'clock's front yard. And that's all 3 o'clock's front house, right? If you have a front yard at your house, it's not really like a part of your house, but you can go into your front yard and it still belongs to you, right? It's not, your neighbor's. It's yours. It's your front yard. So when my minute hand creeps, and it starts to creep and creep and creep around, and it's minute by minute is ticking, and my hour hand now is moving, it's still in 3's front yard. Do you see how even though my hour hand is not pointing right at the 3 anymore, it's kind of still in 3 o'clock's front yard? That is how we know which hour we're in, even when your minute hand is not pointing right here at the 12 o'clock, right? So all this time has passed, and now I can see, okay, look, it's 4 o'clock. I can see because look at my hour hand is pointing right to my 4. It's 4 o'clock. This is 4 o'clock's house, but guess what? 4 o'clock also has a front yard. So 4 o'clock, his front yard starts at his house and goes into all of this space right up till 5 o'clock. Doesn't that make sense? So then when your minutes again, after 4 o'clock, 4:01, 4:02, 4:03, 4:04, 4:05, and it slowly creeps around, my hour hand is maybe not pointing right at 4's house anymore, but check it out. It's pointing right into 4 o'clock's yard. Okay, that is front yard for you. Every number on your clock has their little house here. Here's 5's. And then it has a front yard that goes all the way up into the next neighbor's house. Let me do maybe like an orange. 6 o'clock's house is here, and his house starts right here, and then it goes all the way. So those are your front yards. Hopefully that makes sense. So as long as I can see where, if my hour hand is pointing in someone's front yard, I know, oh, it's still 3. It's still in the hour 3. We haven't reached 4 yet. We're not in 4's house yet. We're just in 3's front yard. Okay, that is front yard. Hopefully that makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, that's okay. Maybe your mom and your dad can explain it in a different way. Another thing that I want you guys to pay attention to is we're going to learn how to tell time now to the half hour. So half hour just means half of your hour has passed, right? If this is a full hour, you know, my minute hand is here, and it goes all the way around once, that is a full hour. It has gone from 4 o'clock, now it is 5 o'clock. Half an hour is when only half of the minutes have ticked by. So if you were to cut your clock right in half, oh, this is going to be really bad. If you were going to cut your clock in half, you would start at the top, right at the top of the hour, and you'd come all the way down here. All of this is half of your clock, right? Kind of like a pizza. This is half of your clock. So when half an hour passes, your minute hand, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do it again, but I'm just going to make it not colored in so you can still kind of see. So when your minute hand is up here and it slowly starts to creep by and creep by and creep by, it will have reached half an hour when instead of pointing at the 12, it's pointing down at the 6. At the 6. 30 minutes have passed. You can see the 30 there. 30 minutes have passed instead of 60, which is a full hour. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what time it is to the half hour. My hour hand is not pointing at an hour, but I remember, okay, here is 6. It's hard to see, but here he is. And then here's his front yard. My hour's in 6 o'clock's front yard, so my hour is 6, and it is half past 6, or it's 6:30. Here, I'm going to move all of this to a number so we can see some other numbers a little better, because this minute hand is in the way. And then now it's 7 o'clock, 7 o'clock. So 7 o'clock, we're in 7 o'clock. The clock is going to keep ticking by. And once it gets to the 6, we know that half an hour has passed. Half of an hour. We're in 7 o'clock's front yard. It's 7:30 or half past 7. I just want you guys to say half past 7 because half of that hour has passed. I know that half an hour is probably going to be trickier than the full hour, so this is just going to take a lot of practice. All you really need to know is when your minute hand is pointing down to the 6, half an hour has passed, and all you need to do is look at your hour hand and say half past 7 or half past, now it's half past 8 o'clock, half past, now it's half past 9 o'clock. This is going to just take a lot of practice. So if this did not make sense, let me know, and I'd be happy to set up a meeting with you guys. Good luck on your paper. This is going to be the paper for, I think, next Tuesday, maybe. Love you guys. Good luck. Bye.